Hey guys, welcome to the behind the scenes for IT Glue. This is a cool production. In fact, it's one of the best productions I've ever done. We had a professional crew, we mimicked film industry standards, and we did a short one-day commercial shoot. And there were multiple scenes, around 40 different players, so there was a lot of coordination. We did a location walkthrough a few days before. I wrote the script, I drafted the concept, and I worked with a collaborative director. So this guy, Matthew Campbell, is a total stud, absolute consummate professional because he's just been on set for so many years. So he's a versatile skill set guy. And here we have our rig. So this is a Red Dragon Epic setup. This system is the FreeFly Movi, which is a gimbal setup. Oh, look at those Cooke Ultra Primes. So that's $150,000 worth of lenses that we had on set that day. Now, the dynamics of that camera setup is that it mimics a dolly, it mimics a slider, it can mimic a tripod, it can mimic floating handheld, and also you get wide shots, low shots, high shots like this one. And the whole setup is a bit of a pain in the ass to get set up, and Byron Kopman was our cinematographer there. So he's a total stud. He's just a film industry pro. There's Matthew Campbell running the director's monitor, and our talent was just out of this world. This is another example of working with smart people and getting great results. Matthew would review the shot and get a good shot, essentially secure one good shot, and then get another one for safety and move on. He wasn't one of these highly picky directors, because he really trusted Byron and he trusted the team, and the workflow was like very easy, and that's a wireless monitor as well, which is great. Every shot was slated. Our audio guy was running time code directly into the camera, so there's a time code sync where the camera time code will correspond directly with the audio time code, and there's a little module that he puts on the camera. So here I am executive producing, and I'm just doing a secondary review, but I'm also I was in the film, so I was in a couple scenes, and I'm just reviewing, chatting with the guys, just making sure the workflow is going great. I set up some of the blackout blinds on the windows. I did anything that needed to be done. Essentially, the way I look at it, so I'm just removing the barriers for them. See, we're replacing some of the bulbs because they were fluorescent, and we were worried about flicker, but I don't think there was any flicker, but we were just concerned about it. Here we're moving to another rig, and I believe we underslung the camera at one point, but that's just a grip arm from a C-stand and just pushing right at that. And notice that the follow focus is running. So the beauty of an external follow focus is just the ability to just slap the camera down and just go, because everything will be in focus. And when he's running the gimbal, it's tough to focus as well. So we're just collaborating right there. We're keeping a natural, easy work atmosphere, and we're just keeping something fun. And every shot we got playback and we got approval before moving on to the next scene. But in general, we just set aside maybe 30 minutes per scene, most likely 1 hour per scene, and I think we did a 12-hour day with 10 hours shooting, and each scene we just rolled on it and moved on, got the shot. The workflow was very comfortable. Like, this was one of the more relaxed days that I've had on set. I believe the pre-production was potentially 80 hours, I don't know, but I did a lot of work to be able to write this script. It was just challenging to get it all down and get a client approval, but also get something that was emotional. And it's a very advanced challenge to get something that is cool, crazy, fun, exciting, but also on brand and on message. And notice that those monitors were black in the background there. We also had the Apple logos all blotched out or having a circular stamp on them. And that sticker just stops that brand mention. I don't normally care too much. Here's a key Flow 4x4. So those, he had special bulbs on that allowed some dimming. And the 4x4 is just a natural, easy fluorescent. I don't think they're as hot in the industry, but they're just easy to do, right? There's a 4x4 grid it's shooting into, which is just a diffusion. Here we are with some of the talent, some of the crew. I think they had one assistant for lighting, one assistant for grip, and we're moving to another location there. Actually, this is an additional half day. So we did 1 day in the office, and here's our half day external. We had a stunt coordinator working with the stunt guy, and the stunt guy did, I think, a series of maybe 8 to 10 total moves. And here we're laying this down, so that's going to be rotoscoped out later by our VisFX guy, and he's got a cable on him, so he's going to give him a real hard jerk, and this is happening right in the middle of the street. Now we're going to emphasize it later by rotoing him and giving him a much more dramatic pull, because he's getting hit by a vehicle right there. Boom! You can't really just do so much in roto. In an ideal world, you don't do much of nothing in post. So post, you really want to reduce the amount that you do in post. That allows the workflow, or the, I guess, focus or intensity on post-production to reduce. That way you can be a bit more creative with titles and visual effects and graphics and stuff like that, instead of working to fix stuff, right? The concept of fix it in post. Try to avoid that. It just takes more time. Here's a stunt coordinator just talking about a move. Here's what we're thinking. And they had a couple stunning shots. And so here's a motorcycle. They had a guy just come out and do a few drive-bys. That's a stunt guy. And these stunt coordinators, I believe we were just paying like a low amount. So they did sort of a deal rate. And so he came out, did the motorcycle thing. And then we got a few different stunts. I think that we got 10 total stunts, and we ended up using 3 in the final. So we got some options, and actually I think we squeezed in an extra stunt, which I believe was a little bit too much, or too, it was over and above the Call of Duty. So the stunt guy, he's actually a parkour athlete, and a guy that, they all have worked together before, so there was no casting involved in this. It was more like, hey, we just know the guys, we got connections, and they called them up and saw their availability, and then just booked them out on set, and everyone was sort of doing deal rates. I think our total budget on this one was maybe $25,000, and it's surprising that even with that type of budget, we had to do deal rates with everyone. So $300 day rates, which would be like, say, $25 an hour. I mean, it's quite low in general, but yeah, we just looked at availability and tried to book everyone. Rain is always a consideration. Generally, we just shoot regardless of whether there is rain or not. Just go ahead. Yeah, people are going to be uncomfortable. It's going to suck. See, he's shining a light into the lens. We're just looking for a lens flare. And he's going to include the lens flare with the movement so that it adds an artistic element. Sometimes it's tough to make these stunts look real, so you might throw in a little effect to kind of, make it fancy it up. So you always want to start with the foundation, the most important low-level stuff first, and that's just having really good shots. Yeah, there's a few things where Matthew is absolutely certain that must be captured. But for the most part, he was just focused on the performance. Overall, this production was a massive success. They included it with their marketing for years, and that helped increase the value of their business overall. Actually, I know that I took a loss financially because I used all the resources to really make a killer calling card and portfolio piece so that I can show future clients and the like. This type of production could have been done with about half the crew, half the complexity, and it would have been maybe just about as good. When you're dealing with larger crews, you can have very specific roles and responsibilities, which means people have less to focus on and they tend to be better. Now, with a smaller crew, you might have to do a bit more development, a bit more planning, a little bit more coordination, but you can easily get away with a smaller crew. So overall, this one was a robust, intense production, especially for the commercial work we usually do, but it was worth it in terms of creating a great portfolio piece.
Got it.
This is Jason. He's our best IT guy. He's been working with us for quite a few years now. Our clients love him. Our competitors would love to work with him. He knows pretty much everything there is to know about our clients.
That looked like a video game. Oh, that was real. Oh my God. Oh, jeez.
Jason pretty much kept everything in his head for all those years. And now those clients are lost. And that information is lost. Oh, and Jason, of course, we lost him too.
Sir? You might want to take a look at this.
Jensen, we do not have time for another cat video.
Oh, no, we've been using IT Glue to store and standardize client and internal information.
So you're telling me this whole time, without my approval, you've been documenting all the details of our client's IT environment, storing and connecting to their devices, passwords, and apps, writing processes for fixing all the problems at their location, so even the most junior tech can do the work, templating and creating a huge library of best practice processes, automatically monitoring and storing all the passwords, domains, and SSL certificates, even tracking who is accessing and changing this information, complete with version history so we can go back to previous versions, all within a completely secure environment, and linking it to all the other tools we use in the business, making you ultimately as productive as Jason ever was?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Then that is cause for celebration.
Oh, shake. Oh, sorry.